back when you first came on, we were discussing Terrifier 2,
Yeah.
and it was a very highly anticipated film because the first one did so well. It grew such a mass audience, and I was super
Hmm.
excited for it to come out. Now, during that time span, because of COVID, I know there was a lot of it was like the production was on halt essentially, right?
Right.
Well, I know that you and Damien, what I heard actually was that you guys worked together actually on expanding pre-existing kills during that pandemic, that time. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we still hadn't filmed the coroner's kill at the very beginning of the film, and well, we filmed like the very beginning part of it, but not the actual kill part of it. And the same going with Allie's kill in the bedroom, because all that ground kind of grinded to a halt because of COVID. Because Damien, even before that, Damien had to take some time off to like build the prosthetics and everything needed for those. So the pandemic kind of gave us that opportunity to do that. So he's like, well, I got all this extra free time, might as well, go, full hog with all this stuff. So that's what we did. And, we kind of changed those scenes around and added a lot more to them than was initially in the script.
Yeah, it's so cool. And you had a lot of creative freedom with this character as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a lot, I know not total creative freedom, but a lot of creative freedom. Like Damien and I really work well together. It's like we're always constantly going back and forth with each other, like how we should tackle certain scenes with the character, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of freedom to be had there. Damien allows me a lot of room for experimentation and stuff like that.
I feel like that's when the actors can really bring the best out of themselves, right?
Hmm.
Because they're given a script, they're given the character, but it's up to you to make the decision on how you could go about it. There's a thing actually that Quentin Tarantino said is actually really inspiring. I actually saw it today, so perfect timing for this. But he was saying that some actors, there's a misconception that some actors they believe that there's a million different ways to play a certain character, but he's
Hmm.
like, you know what? There's only like three or four ways max. Because you got to think, for example, I'm Adam Lupis. You may say something or do something to me. There's only about three or four different ways I can possibly react. Not a million
Hmm.
different ways. So it's the same with your character, right? So and especially since you don't talk at all, your character is all mind based. It's all with movement and everything. You essentially have to be creative based on your physicality. So that must be a
Right.
challenge in itself alone, right?
It can be, but it oddly enough at the same time, it just comes naturally to me. So I don't even think about it too much. I just let whatever happen in the moment. Because what I do, even though I don't have lines, I'm making up my own dialogue in my head. So that just gives me things to play off of mentally, that it just makes things happen physically, organically.
That's awesome. Yeah, and even a couple days ago, my girlfriend and I were watching Halloween, the original with Jamie Lee Curtis, who's the
Hmm.
Scream Queen. She's
Of
awesome.
course, of course.
Yeah, but one thing I've noticed, I want to get your opinion on this, and it's really interesting. That it's always the female protagonist that ends up surviving at the end. I'm not sure if you noticed that. It's always that's always the case.
Yeah.
But do you know why, or do you have a hunch as why filmmakers tend to do that?
I think it's because audiences tend to empathize more with a female protagonist when it comes to these type of movies, over a male and protagonist, because you see this character go through so many horrible things and have horrible things done to them and see them horrible things happen to all those around them, and I guess it's just part of human nature to empathize more with a female character in those kind of situations than a male character.